Greetings and salutations. We're going to visit Australia now, and this is where the game gets quite difficult. Not too difficult, but it gets harder compared to what it was like, I'll say that. Now, I do want to warn everyone, if you have a medical condition that renders you sensitive to flashing lights and other such things, please don't watch this video. As much as I would like everyone to be able to see it, I just don't want anyone having any kind of serious problem that could be avoided. And hopefully I'll remember to put that warning in the description. Also, this section of the game is a really good reason why I review games the way I do, because of what's coming up next. I know I always, well, maybe not always, but I sometimes mention that I have a really strict policy of trying to beat the game. We're beating it, actually. I don't think, the only game that I've reviewed that I haven't actually beat was Dragon Crystal, which was a roguelike, and those can take a long time to beat. Even though that game was kind of softcore. But anyway, this game is a great example of why I try to play through the game before I review it. Because the area we're coming up on is very poorly designed. It's completely broken. We're not completely broken, because you can get through it. It's very poorly designed, and it's one of the places where one of this game's few real flaws becomes very apparent, painfully apparent. And what I'm talking about is right in here. This game does have a few leaps of faith earlier on. This part is a leap of faith. You're just falling and hoping you can avoid spikes and bullet shooting fish. See, if I wasn't careful, I would have hit that. And I know you're thinking, well, you gotta get good. And yeah, you do gotta get good. I completely agree with that. But at the same time, this guy, he's so sensitive underwater, the way he moves. Look at this. This is just me very lightly tapping as quickly as I possibly can the jump button and the directions. And as you see, he'll move a whole body length to the left or the right pretty quickly, and he'll jump very high. In fact, as high as he goes. You couple that with these things, see how I just landed on that? And you have a really annoying sequence that was very poorly done. And I hate to say it, because this game is a great game. Maybe not great, but it's a good game. It's a very good game, and I enjoyed it. And, you know, this is not a deal breaker. But see, I just died right here. This isn't a deal breaker. But this definitely hurts the game. So I'm going to shut up and do this. And my point was, though, before I go on, is if you review games and you play the first two stages and say, well, those were cool, this is a good game, you wouldn't know about this. And you wouldn't be able to tell people about it. And, you know, in my opinion, that's an issue. And now they're yelling at me, telling me to get on with it. Now see, I bet if we replayed that, you would see me landing on the platform. But the way the hitboxes are done, with these spikes, the game said, nope, you landed on the spikes, bro. eat it. And if you're wondering why I'm irritated, it's because I've been trying for the last 40 minutes to get a decent video of me going down this shaft. Oddly enough, I got it on my first try when I was giving the games some practice earlier. But it wasn't easy. I think a lot of that was luck. We're looking good until we did that. I think I want to go over here. This is good, we're making some progress. Whew. It looks like we're almost in the clear. I don't want to speak too soon, but we made it. Wow. So as you can see, it's not that bad. I was a bit frustrated and I was exaggerating. And while it isn't that bad, it's pretty bad. For a game that flows pretty well most of the time, and that is fairly balanced in terms of learning curve, that was a little bit shocking. And as I did say, I do have an issue with those leaps of faith. I'll never be a fan of it. Now, oh, there it is. I was going to say, hopefully we won't have to wait very long for that. This area is a little tough. Well, not really tough, actually. But it does require caution. I mean, by most platformer standards, this is pretty easy. But I would have to say overall, Pulseman is not a hard game. If you're an experienced platformer player. If you're kind of new to the genre, you might have some trouble with it. But it's probably a good game to learn on. I don't know if it would be the best game to learn. I don't know if I'd recommend it to everyone who asked me what should their first platformer be, but it wouldn't hurt. And do we have another leap of faith? Yeah, see, that's another situation. I didn't quite remember where the platform started, so, you know, I had to hope for the best and jump down. Now this is where things start to get freaky, and I put the warning out there earlier, and I'm going to say it again: if you have a condition that renders you I can't even think of the word right now, intolerant to flashing lights or anything like that, I would avoid this section of the radio. Not necessarily this part, but the next area for sure, because that's where things get quirky. And it's really quite a beautiful section, really, in terms of visuals. It's just, you know, if you can't, it's not your cup of tea. You see, I wanted to try to get down there, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh, this is awful. So these guys are back, as you can see. See, overall, that's my biggest complaint, is a lot of times in this game, the enemies just come out of nowhere. And, you know, that wouldn't be too big of a deal, but I feel that a lot of times these enemies aren't really, they don't do anything, really. They just maybe move around a little bit. I know that was like, you know, every enemy in the original Super Mario Brothers, but, you know, there's a difference between placing an enemy like that strategically and making the player figure out, you know, how to deal with it, or even making them react to it quickly. That's okay too. And just putting the enemy in a place where you can't see it and have it pop out really fast so it hits you. Like, there's a difference between this. And that's what I'm talking about. Right here. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know what they were thinking when they did this. And you know, by then, Nintendo had already been sued for, well, I don't know if they've been sued. I was a kid when they happened, so I don't really remember. But there was that whole thing with Nintendo about the flashing lights and all that. And they had to start putting warnings on their games. Because, you know, I mean, you buy your kid a game, and, you know, all of a sudden he or she is having a seizure or something, you know, and you had no idea that that game had, you know, flashing lights and stuff. I guess, you know, so, you know, maybe that was a good reason to do so. But at any rate, you know, there had already been all that controversy, so I'm kind of surprised that this game happened. I guess, I don't know, maybe Sega had warnings, who knows. But, you know, I guess at the time, especially when you think about parents in the 80s and early 90s, you know, they weren't exactly knowledgeable about technology and stuff, so they probably bought games not realizing that they would maybe be dangerous. And of course, video games have always gotten a bad rap, so, you know, that was just another thing that the media, news and all that could jump on. This part's crazy. It's not difficult, but, you know, you really don't have a sense of movement here. It's really kind of like theory of relativity in action. Even though you have all these moving images, the way it is, you just don't know the platform's moving until you see another platform. And this part of the level is really cool. I just love the way they did it. You can actually see Wariyama's finger hitting the fire button. I mean, how cool is that? See, like I said, this game is really cool, and for the most part, it's well done. But it does have, you know, there's a couple flaws in it. And of course, you can see Pulseman there, which is another awesome detail that they do. And I do want to look up, hopefully before I do the last video, I do want to look up when Game Freak did this game. You know, if they have done Pokemon already or not, I just don't know. As I said, I admitted to the mortal sin of not being a Pokemon fan. And not that I have a problem with it, I just never played it. So I just don't know whether or not there's a Pokemon game out by now. And we are clear through that tunnel. And this is another pretty cool section here. It's really goofy boss. It's a submarine shaped like a fish shooting a gun shaped like a fish. Only in Japan. Well, this boss may kill me. And basically the idea is, oh, not to get hit. But aside from that, you just want to bounce those Dr. Wariyama heads back at the fish. Oh, we're coming down to the wire here. Hopefully this does it. Yeah, we got him. So, not bad at all. That shaft was a little bit irritating, but overall I think it was a cool stage, and you know, we'll do this bonus level and then that's it for the video. Unfortunately, this might be the next to last Pulseman video, I don't know. I would like to see maybe another level, well, not another level, but another 2 levels instead of 1, maybe even 3. We can always hope. But I can't guarantee that. There's very little information on this game. And, you know, what info there is doesn't really tell me much about it. So, there we go, that's the bonus stage.
In progress.
And as you can see here, we are at Japan again, we're back home. So, you know, I guess it ends where it starts. We'll just have to find out in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. I will be back with more Pulseman. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Or maybe, you know, if you're watching these movies, or videos, movies. If you're watching these videos, if you're binge watching them, than a great 10 seconds or whatever. So, thanks again, and until next time, good luck and happy gaming.